just finished my 30th year of teaching. Most of those have been in the fifth grade, teaching ELA and social studies. Over the years, by far, my absolute favorite thing to spice up my lessons has been teaching with interact simulations. It started many years ago when I taught the wagon train simulation, where the kids were pioneers traveling west, and they were racing with other teams and pulling fake cards with broken wagon wheels and catching diseases like the measles and different things like that, that just really spiced up our social studies instruction. And it really did remind me of my favorite video game from the 80s, which was the Oregon Trail. I know I just dated myself, but I am still using these simulations and they are still my students' favorite. Let's look at some pictures of my students from this past year using Interact simulations. So this is the unit Heritage, which I renamed the Amazing Race. One of my hobbies has been to revamp these units just to kind of make them more my own and fit the needs of my students. So this is our Amazing Race tracking sheet. And then we have the kids here on cooperative teams, and they are mapping out their secret routes. So they have to come up with the quickest route that hits the most historical sites across the United States. And they're racing the other teams for different tasks, different map skill activities. I can even pull in different cooperation strategies that I want to see, or things with their work ethic, really anything that a teacher wants, you can add to points for this race. And here are our winners of the race, and they get to color their car and name their car. They have a lot of fun with that. But moving on, then I go into teaching Native Americans, and we end the unit teaching the Interact unit Maya, where the kids run their own Mayan cities to see who can gain the most population. So here we have the high priest solving the ancient codex below. They're sharing like bits and pieces of secrets from their cities to solve riddles and clues, things like that. And then we have the ambassadors trading at the market. They're trading their natural resources with one another to offer at the sacrifice at the end. And here are noble lords and mathematicians counting the census because they earn corn for different things. And the amount of corn they have is how it affects their population. And then finally, we end the year with the Amigos Race, where the kids go from southern Texas all the way to the southern tip of Latin America. And again, they are doing different tasks, and they pull fake cards that represent the different countries of Central and South America. Even the Caribbean, and they do all kinds of tasks to race their teams to the end. So it's competitive yet cooperative and really fun and motivating for the end of our school year. So simulations can sometimes be seen as fluff, like as you can see, there aren't specific questions on these that, would maybe show up on a test later. However, I have noticed that when my kids are so actively engaged in these things, they are much more motivated to learn the rigorous content of the social studies standards. They are actively engaged in my classroom. And as social studies teachers, we know that some of our lessons really lend themselves to student engagement, like, when we're studying wars or ancient civilizations. But then there are other parts of social studies that we may feel like this teacher. I think we're going to sink into a deeper depression if we keep listening to that video. But anyway, I know simulations can seem like fluff. However, like I said, I've seen firsthand how they keep our kids actively engaged in the classroom. And we've got a lot of research that shows when kids are engaged, they are motivated. They are more able to learn the content and less feelings of anxiety and depression, and even their standardized scores go higher. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to read over this research on the slide here and the 4 different studies that were done to show these 4 different areas that really show that student engagement can do so much for the child's well-being. So take a look at these 4. I'm going to ask you afterwards which one of these 4 really resonates with you the most. So take a moment to read over these 4 research studies. Okay, show of hands. I've got you on my screen here, but show of hands. Hold up a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to show the one that resonates with you the most. I know it's tough because they're all great, but I know that I love the one that says that the engagement predicted academic achievement above and beyond factors such as intelligence or prior achievement. So some of our struggling learners can be brought up to their highest ability just by getting them actively engaged in the classroom. So there we have the research to support what we're going to be learning today. All right. So right now we're going to find the Interact simulation that best meets your needs. So I'm going to go ahead and have you log in to the Social Studies School Service Active Classroom. I've posted the directions here on the screen so that you can see step by step of how to do, but I will also read it to you so that you can do it as we go here. So then you're going to click on the activities, the magnifying glass icon, and then click on that right search bar blue button that says advanced. Then you're going to go to series title, scroll all the way down to Interact Simulations. On the blue magnifying glass on the search bar, bring up the simulations available in your active classroom. You're going to go ahead and scroll through all the topics and see if you can find a topic that really sounds exciting to you. Maybe there's a unit that you just dread teaching in your social studies class, or maybe you haven't developed it as much as you would like. Look for a topic that might go and support with that unit so that you can really enjoy spicing that unit up and making it more enjoyable for you and your students. So if you really love it, click on that icon, the picture of the eye to view it, and then go ahead and download it. Then you've got access to opening it. You can print it, scroll through the entire thing, and really see if that's something that you would like to work with. All right, I'm going to give you a few minutes to go ahead and look at those simulations. Enjoy. I'd like to have you keep some of the following tips in mind when you are going through your Interact simulations. you don't have to do them exactly how they say. You can fit them into the time frame that you have. Some of these simulations could go several weeks. You could honestly just adapt them to last a couple of days. And you obviously want to cover the content that you need. So you could take out some of the activities that are in the simulation and slide in some of your tried and true content and activities that you have. You want to definitely include research and critical thinking, but if the things that the simulation is having you research, if it's outdated, go ahead and slide in some of your own links so that your kids have the most updated research and information. Again, these really promote collaboration and participation. So that is the exciting piece of it. So just enjoy looking through and keep those things in mind, because I will be spending the next hour showing you how to adapt these to meet your needs the best.